G'day everybody and welcome back to my channel. Guess what arrived? The silicon cable, 6 core. So this is my original handle. Now I've swapped over a couple of parts like this thing because it's nice and shiny, and this because it fits tighter than this one. I actually had Captain tape around the thread because it kept popping off when I put a bit of force on it. So this fits tighter. I've reused it. This was off the original handle. But anyway, the main thing I've got to do, see, when I got this handle, I had to buy this plug too and install this plug because I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Also, the original handle I had took this style of element, which I found was hard to find, but it was very easy to always find these, and I've got plenty of spares too. So what I've got to do, I've got to work out what the brown wire is, and take this little device. This is the little, I don't know if you can hear that shaking. That's the little sensor that detects that you're using the iron to stop it from going to sleep. So what I've got to do is I've got to run the 6 core cable in here and solder it up to this, the earth, the 2 heater wires, and the 2 PTC or NTC, whatever it is, the thermistor wires. And then I've got I think I should still have spare elements for this. Let me just check. Might have to pause the video for a sec. One moment. Damn it, I've thrown out the original element. I'm an idiot. I do have these other ones I bought, but they didn't have the thermistor in it. That makes sense, but because that lines up with red and black. So those 2 are the element, those 2 are the temperature sensor, and that's ground on this style. So, okay, so it's one of the temperature sensor wires, and it goes back to the extra 6th wire. This has got 6 wires in it. And yeah, they're supposed to be that small. Alright, so I'll be able to work this out. So what I'll do off camera now is I'll reverse engineer it, because you guys don't want to sit there and watch me sitting here going and buzzing stuff out of a multimeter for like 10-20 minutes. So I'll work out where that is hooked up to, because I'm pretty sure you can't just hook it to either side of the PTC, because that's got some resistance to it and it might throw the temperature sensing out if I hook it up to the wrong side. Don't want to do that. So also could damage it, I don't know. But anyway, so I've got to work out exactly which wire that goes to. Just out of curiosity, that's a good point. I don't know how I'm actually going to work that out. Did I use black and red for the element? No, I just used random colors. Damn it. Oh, this is not good. There's got to be a way to figure this out. I'm just going to go have another look, see if I can find the element. Alright, well that's already my first silly moment of the day. I just realised I don't need the bloody element, I need my multimeter. That's why I said I'm going to do most of this off camera, because you guys don't need to sit there whilst I do dumb stuff. So I need to work out which pin. Yeah, I know, you know, that's why I have all these little clips and things that I make for situations like these. Now I just need to work out there you go. So it's pin 4. Tell me this is marked. Yep. Pin 4 is thermistor and temperature sensor connection. Oh, my bloody pen's gone. And my pencil. Oh, here's the pencil. That'll do. Okay. Pin 4. Therm plus sensor. Okay, so yellow is the other thermistor connection. Good guess. That is pin 5. Oh. Okay, it doesn't matter which way the thermistor is connected, it just matters which side I connect the two points together, where the thermistor goes to the thermistor of the element, and at the end of this I just want to make sure that's on the same side. Okay, I assume pins 2 and 1 are the element. Apparently not. Yep, maybe it's these two. Really? Oh, I'm looking at the plug the wrong way. Okay, so it's going to be those two, those two, those two, those two, those two, or those two. What the hell? Oh. Duh, there's no element plugged in. How silly am I sometimes? Element is red and black. Pretty sure it's going to be these two. Yeah. Let's just check the black. Yeah. Okay, so pins 1 and 2 are the element. And obviously 1, 2, 3. No, it's not obvious. That's right, there's still 2 more pins. I was just going to say obviously ground is, and then I realised no, it's not that obvious. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong end. Oh, it's on the floor. Still got 2 pins to trace out. Well, 1. Ground. Is the bottom pin, which is pin 3. And that means pin 6 is the other end of the sensor. Alright, now this can go back away, that can go away, all I need is my iron and my new bit of silicon cable. You know, I just picked up my irons cable and I was like, wait, this is silicon. And then I realised, I was like, wait, no, I'm not changing it because I haven't changed it to silicon. I've already done that. That's what this is. That's why I got this handle, because it had a silicon cable, but it came with the wrong plug, so I put a different plug on it. No, it's because it's missing a wire. You'd be surprised how many times my head works in strange ways. I was diagnosed with ADHD and Asperger's as a child, so, you know, my brain's a little bit different. And then I probably did a little bit of damage in my early teen years, as I mentioned in an earlier video with my reckless younger days. But yeah, I do silly things from time to time. You know, I'll go to J-Car to buy, you know, some components, and I'll come back and realise that the main thing I went there for I didn't get. It's really silly things from time to time. It's odd to me because of the level of complexity of stuff that I do, that I manage to screw up so much, but I do. Alright, I'm gonna take all this apart and then we'll come back and make up the plug and this end again with this cable. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta take the sensor out the other one. God, one moment. I got that sensor out and I kept the whole length by sort of cutting the crimp and pulling the pin out that end, and there's a little bit of crimp on this end. The only reason I'm cutting off is because when I solder the wire to it, I don't want the flux to wick in between the crimp and this and effectively make a high resistance connection. So there we go. So that's the sensor, the cable and the iron. So I'll get to pulling this apart now. And I'll come back when it's apart and we'll start making the new one. Tell you what, I might not have done the right coloured wires, but I did a bloody neat job with making up the plug. That's what we're going to do again anyway, but with 6 wires. So that middle connector will be used. I just cut the heat shrink off so I can unsolder, desolder these wires. And it just occurred to me, how am I going to do that without an iron? Well, it occurred to me that that's what you guys might be thinking. I have a 60-watt iron from Bunnings that I've had literally for like 10 years now. Still works fine. It's got really good thermal mass and really good power. It gets, in my opinion, hotter, or at least to the same temperature as that one, but with more thermal mass. You know, if I've got to do a huge ground plane or something ridiculous, that will get the job done. Soldering like a piece of wire that's like that thick, that'll get the job done. So what I did is I built a triac based temperature controller for it. And so I've got that. I'm just heating it up now. So that is how I'm going to accomplish this. If anyone ever notices that I have trouble talking and try and put emphasis on making my words sound clear, you are correct. That is because I have tooth damage from, again, dumb shit that I did when I was younger, and then all the years that I spent just wasting money instead of getting my teeth fixed, even though after I think I was only about 19, 18 when I started to realise what I was doing to my teeth. But unfortunately, once you destroy the enamel, doesn't matter how much you keep cleaning them, they still slowly rot on their own. I will say this, since I started cleaning them the last 10, 15, whatever years, I'd say closer to 15 years. You know, the rot has deteriorated much slower, you know, and they don't look all black and, you know, disgusting. But yeah, I'm missing a lot of teeth. I do need to save up a considerable amount of money because I don't want dentures. I want to get implants. So that is why sometimes I talk a little bit funny. It just depends how much mental effort I'm putting into trying to pronunciate letters and sounds, because I've got a gap between two of my front teeth and some missing teeth on the sides on the bottom. It's kind of embarrassing. It's why I don't like to show my face on camera too much, to be honest. Otherwise I'd show you guys, but yeah, it's the one thing I'm ashamed of in all the stuff that I did when I was younger. You know, I feel as if, you know, I screwed my lungs up a bit, but mentally and physically and that, I'm pretty happy with myself, but I'm not happy with my teeth. That's the one thing that if I could, you know, take back, I would definitely do anything to go back. But, you know, once the damage is done, it's done. All you can do is move on. Luckily, we have dentists. Very luckily. And we're not in the old days anymore either. We've got good technology now too. Guys, could you imagine going to get some surgery done or some dental work done, say like 100 years ago? We're truly lucky. You see what I mean by the heat this makes? I just got to touch the tip and it gets the job done. This was my favourite soldering iron because this is exactly the reason. Look, the tip's not even clean on it. I haven't even tinned it up or cleaned it in probably a year or two. But mate, these old school 240 volt irons that just have a huge coil of nichrome wire wrapped up in here with the huge, that's the tip for it. So that, you know, it goes all the way down. There's a whole coil of nichrome wire. You can see where it heats up around it. So you can imagine the heat transfer and the thermal mass to it. These are just unbeaten. You don't have to worry about, what do you call it? I can't think of it. I'm having a silly moment. Thermal transfer time, waiting for the heat to transfer from the tip of your iron, from the element to the tip. You know, like you put your tip on a huge mass that wicks all the heat away from it, and a shit iron, even these styles of iron aren't as good, which is why I made this sleeving up that goes around here, and then the tip goes around that. There's still room for thermal expansion, but it packs up that space. Without it, no joke, that's insanity. That is insanity. Anyway, I'm going to finish pulling everything apart now. I'll strip up the cable, I'll make up the ends, and I'll come back and we'll solder everything up and put it together. I'm just about to go off and strip this cable and cut the wires to length for this board. And what I'll do is I'll strip them and tin them and cut them to length just to save some video time. And I'll go and cut all the bits of heat shrink. So like I'll cut 6 little short pieces for that, and one piece about that long for this earth electrode, whatever you want to call it. It's not really an electrode, is it? You know what I mean. Contact, spring. So I'll go sort out all that and we'll get to soldering. I've just noticed something. The wires in this cable are actually half the size of the wires in the other cable, which is really not a good thing. I don't know if this is actually going to be able to handle the 60 watts. They're like... See, I don't get this was sold as soldering iron cable. I literally bought it as soldering iron cable. They had like the two options for the 5 core and the 6 core, and this is what I got. I mean, I'd be scared to put more than an amp or two down that. What's the handle run on? 12 or 24 volts? I can't remember. I think they're 24 volts. 24 times 2 is only 48. It's supposed to be 60 watts that it takes. I'm a bit concerned that I won't be able to get it up to the whole 480 degrees because the cable will warm up and because of the resistance of it. I don't know how much drive voltage there is available to the element from the base station, if it can make up for the voltage drop in the cable. I mean, I get it's only a meter long, but still, that is awfully small. It's got me a little bit concerned. I have to look into that. All I can really do is turn it up to 480 degrees when I've wired it up, measure it, see if it makes it to 480, use it, see what the thermal performance is of it, and leave it running for a bit and see if this gets warm. But yeah, this is not good. Anyway, I'm still going to continue doing this. I walked over here and got the other iron out the drawer just to have a quick look at it. I'll just show you guys. I've actually been doing a bit of tidying up in the lab. I'll give you guys a look around at the end of this video. But I mean, those are the two cables that I had. You know, it's at least half the gauge. So I'm a bit worried that I'm going to end up having to go back to this cable. To be honest, if that happens, I think what I'll do is I'll just... Oh, I don't have an element for this. I was going to say I'll just temporarily use this whilst I order another bit of cable, but no. I'll have to go back to the original silicon cable that I bought that's only got 5 cores. I really don't want to do that. Let's just hope that this works out. Where's my caliper? Ah, that's right. These things go flat because it doesn't truly turn off. Gotta change the battery in it. Never mind. I can see with my eyes that the wire with insulation on it is like a millimeter. You know, maybe 1.1 millimeters. It's bloody 0.9 of a millimeter. And the insulation is half of it in terms of width. So that leaves 0.45 mil of copper. God. I just can't see half a millimeter of copper being enough to carry 60 watts. God. I'm going to go do some calculations. I'm going to measure the resistance of this from end to end, one of the cores, and just see how bad it's actually going to be before I go ahead and waste my time doing this. I don't need the LCR meter for this, so I don't need extreme accuracy, and the resistance is probably going to be fairly high. I'll be able to see it. The This is going to say 0.1 ohm if I do this. So whatever's added onto that. Mm, 0.1 ohm. You know, because it's so short, I think I might just get away with it, but it's the ampacity that I'm worried about. Because the thing is, that's 0.1 ohms cold. Because it's so thin, I don't know how many amps the base station cranks out, but it would be about 2.5 amps. I can't. I'm just going to run 2.5 amps down this and see what it does. 1 minute. I gotta say, I just stripped it to have a look, and there is more copper in there than what I thought there was, you know, like it's pretty thick. Still, I'm just gonna load this at. Okay, that power supply is only 1 amp. What am I doing? Okay, this power supply. Just give me a moment, guys, and I'll tell you what this heat's up to. So I've got 2.5 amps going through it, and it's dropping 0.33 volts. Wow, you know what? That wire's not heating up at all. It's actually short enough and thick enough just. Alright. I'm honestly shocked. Alright. Well, we'll use this then. Looks like it'll do the job. I'm not happy about it. I would rather the extra thickness just for, you know, like the less voltage drop and also longevity of the life of the cable. But I guess it is what it is. At least it does the job. Bloody hell, the Chinese, man. They make everything as small as they can possibly get away with it for it to work, you know? I'd never do something like that. Alright, I'll go make all this up. I just got to strip the rest of the ends and solder them, and I already cut the bits of heat shrink for the plug, and oh, we don't need heat shrink for here. Whoops. Oh well. And the earth bit. I'll finish this and I'll be back. You know, something just occurred to me whilst I was stripping the wires. I very stupidly stripped all the wires on this end at the same length. Then I realised they're all different lengths, and then I realised obviously I've got to work out what's the heater and what's the thermistor. I've done this end. This is all tin and ready. I thought I'd do it on camera, just for those that are learning. So the heater's probably going to have a lower resistance than the thermistor for one, and for two, the thermistor is going to show a change in resistance a lot more with heat or cold than what the heating element will. So if you look on your multimeter like this, 3.8 ohms, that's probably the heater. 60 ohms, that'll be the PTC or NTC. And if I just take my hot air, see how that's going up. But if we look at the element, wires out the way. It'll go up, but it won't go up as much. So just so you know, that's how you find out which one's your PTC and which one's the element. I already knew that it's the red and the blue, and the blue's the element, the sense, and the red's the element, but I just wanted to demonstrate that. So I'm going to continue making up these wires now, but there you go. That's how that works. Alright, I'm back. Let's start making this handle up. So the only thing that's important is basically, I mean, obviously, how do I explain this? Pin 4 must go to, I'm going to use the brown wire because I've created a space between the yellow and brown wire to fit this, which also lines up with the board. Right? You'll see. Anyway, so that's all sorted. Start making this up. Probably would have been easier to feed the other end in. Oh, at least the wires are tinned. Hey, what on earth is going on? I'm going in with the other end. I have to take the wires up. Actually, you know what? I need a little bit of Captain tape for the plug. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the old cable where it goes and gets crimped into the plug here, I just put a little bit of Captain tape around it. Cable's just a little bit too thin. I've got a funny feeling this cable's going to be even thinner. So it's probably going to need more Captain tape to lay it up. At least the original cable I bought wasn't undersized. It was the same wire diameter as the original wires that came. Oh, I just pulled the bloody thing through. Oh my god. Please, please, please work. No. Oh, come on. Try and get a more appropriate amount this time. Alright. Make sure I don't pull the whole thing through this time. Just leave that like that so I don't have any more accidents like that. Alright. Where'd that spring just go? Oh, I turned the soldering iron off. How silly of me. I'll just pause the video because this old school soldering iron is going to take a while to heat up. Alright, the iron's heated up now. I'm just going to clean up these pads basically by flying just a little bit of fresh solder, and this iron hasn't heated up fully, in just to get the flux out of it really. But I want to leave a nice little ball there on each pad, like so. And then geez, this iron still hasn't heated up. and I can just reflow every wire. No, I'm gonna have to wait for this iron. Then I can reflow every wire. Like so. Incidentally, I did have to strip this cable back and make it a little bit longer because I screwed up and forgot the earth wire. I left it too short. Alright, I'll just get, try not to crack that. I'll just get this on. Come on. That's that. Now I'm just gonna secure the cable in here. It's about tight enough. Don't want it too loose, don't want it too tight. Alright, now, although tight's always better. Let's tin this guy up. Let's try and get some insulation on here. Okay, I'm gonna have to make that smaller. Try that. You know, if I had 3 hands, I could get that. Might just be able to get it anyway. Just. Oh, come on. Alright, that'll do. I think I can just tack that on before the heat shrink shrinks up on me. Ah. Yep, I got it. Talk about just. Alright, now what I'm going to do with the other end of it, it's going to go to the brown there. I'm going to make sure it's going to fit in the handle. If I was to just solder it like that, will it still fit? No. Should have left that long bit on there. I originally was going to, and then I decided to cut it off. That's okay. I'll just run a little link. I'm not going to have to even insulate that. That's that perfectly spaced. What I can do, just get a piece of this. Just want to make sure that I've actually flowed that on there. Yep. Okay, cool. And no, I didn't melt the red or the black wire. I know it looks like it probably on camera, but they're perfectly fine. Now if I just bend that up, and a hard right, hard left, whatever you want to call it. Crop that. Tin it and join it. The two are now one. I'm happy with that. I'll just bring that up to the camera so everyone can see, because it probably looked dodgy. Focus. It's actually really, really neat. So that's that problem solved. Wonderful. That goes there. Pull the condom off of it. Alright, now we've got the other end. Don't worry, I know what colour wires I've done. I've done red and black for the heating element, green for earth, yellow and brown's the sensor, the shake sensor, and white and brown is the thermistor. What I've got to be careful of is I don't do my usual silly trick and go to wire this up like I usually solder plugs and forget to put the bloody sheath on first. You know how many times I've done that? Soldered that end onto there and then realised I haven't put that on. I need to have to take it all back off and do it again. I've done that way too many times. Jeez, the pins just fall out. It's a nice design. Oh, I see why. The pin's not. Oh, God. That'll do. I don't want to break it. Alright, next problem. Pin out. So, pin 4 is thermal plus sensor. That's the brown wire. There are numbers on the back of here, it's just very hard to see them, it's sort of melted from soldering it. 1, 2, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I see how this goes now. Right, so start off with pin 4. That's that pin there. Pin 5 is the other one, which is the yellow wire. Sorry about everyone not being able to get the best view of this, but it's a bit awkward to do this. What's that middle one? Pin 6. Oh, no, that's not yellow. That goes in the middle. That's the sensor. I was thinking of the wrong sensor. I was thinking about the temperature. How on earth I'm going to solder this? I'm going to need a helping hand to hold that. And then still using this iron with this ginormous tip on it. I still don't know how I'm going to do it, but I've got to. No, I'm not happy with that. Oh, wait a minute. No. It's not that I didn't get solder on it. It's just that it's dirty. Then just reflow it with some flux on it. It'll come up perfect. But will the wire pop off? No, I actually managed to do that. Huh. Nice. Alright. The rest of them will be easy. That was the one that was going to be hard. So 5 is the other thermistor wire, so we'll put that one on. Wait. That's not on 5. This is 5 around here. Yeah, again, that needs a bit of flux. Beautiful. Right, so bloody hell, I can barely see the numbers. 1, 2, 3 is ground. That's this one. You know what I realised? I forgot to put little bits of heat shrink on, but honestly, it doesn't really need it. It's not like it can go anywhere. No. Alright, we just got our heating element. Oh man, I've done it again, haven't I? Bloody hell, I have. I put the earth on one of the heating element spots. You know what? I'm literally going to have to use my foot for this. And then that's dirty as. Bloody hell, that was hot. Cool. That's what you call using all of your body. Not too dirty. Not my best work, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not worried about the heat shrink. What I might do though is I might put some Captain Tape around it. Let's get rid of this iron first. Turn that off now. I can't see this ever being able to touch the outside metal, but I'll just put a little piece around it. I'm not putting tension on this because I don't want to pull the pieces in on each other and have them short to each other. Just like that. Just so there's no possibility of anything shorting against this. You know what we have to hope for now? I didn't screw anything up. I probably should have double checked my wiring. Oh well. You know what? I pretty much had to double check every single one as I did it because I got them wrong, so. Oh, that's too bloody. You gotta be kidding me. Can I fold enough up and get it in there? I still gotta put tape around the wire too. Damn it. If this is too long and I've got to strip it back and make it shorter, I'm going to be so annoyed. Nah, I can fit it in there. I'm not just twisting it, I'm pushing it and twisting it, so I'm sort of, I'm not putting strain on the tags pulling them to each other because I'm compressing the wire at the same time to make it shorter. Don't know if that makes sense or not. That's all I can do to see if I can buy myself enough clearance. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. Just need to know where to put the tape. I'm just going to dangle this on the ground, like from the air, just so I can hold this and go round and round and round and round. It's just a lot easier for me. So I can essentially spin the cable in a couple of my fingers with my left hand whilst it's dangling in the air and just hold the roll of tape and hold the tape against it with my thumb, my right hand. built that up nice and thick. And that's where I want that. Oh, that's nice and tight, cool. I was worried that I might not have wrapped enough tape around it because it's a smaller cable, I think. Maybe the cable's not smaller and they just made the wires smaller. Shifty Chinese. I knew that was going to happen. Whenever I do silly things happen. What a surprise. That ain't going nowhere. Just got to put this little screw in here. Now, just before I completely put everything back together, I'm just going to plug this in my base station and just verify that it starts to heat. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. What have we got? We got this. The condom, my little heat transferring sleeve. Jeez, that's already hot. No, it's not still turned on. Cool. Pimp it out with a nice new shiny piece. Hopefully, I'll just turn it on to warm it up. Hopefully, I'll never have to swear at my soldering iron for falling asleep all the time anymore. I say hopefully because who knows, I might have done something wrong. We'll know in a minute. I've turned it on, it's warming up. Oh. It seems to be reading back temperature because it's slowed down as it's coming up to the last bit. Yep, 350, it stopped on 350. Oh, that works. Cool. Alright. All I can do now is leave it sitting there. I'll pause the video whilst I put all these little bits back away. pause the video and I'll come back when that's gone to sleep and we'll see if it wakes up just from me moving the iron. Alright, it's gone to sleep. Now for the moment of truth. Hey, we don't ever have to worry about it going to sleep no more. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I am a happy man. I'll just give you guys a quick look around because I've been doing some tidying up in here. So over here not too much has really changed, but this bench is nice and tidy. All that op-amp circuitry is destroyed and put away because, like I said, because this is all transistor based, that current circuitry is going to be made out of transistors too. So all the breadboards are back here except for the ones I'm using as a camera mount when I'm not using the tripod. I'm still doing these, the 1/2 watt 1% metal films. Incidentally, the reason why it's taking so long is because I've decided to literally fill up all the drawers. So basically, the ones that are like almost empty that are missing, I'm going to my stock and filling it up, right? If I don't have it in stock, I'm going to my actual bought stock or full price paid stock, and then topping it up from there. Stuff that I'm missing in here that is not in there or in here, I'm making a list of, and I'm going through all of this and I'm going to add all of this to everything. So these drawers are all going to be absolutely chockers, but these are the resistors that I use the most, so it just makes more sense to me. This is actually all I've got left to sort out. So as you can see, there's quite a few empty drawers still, but all the rest of the values I do have, they're just here and some are there. But yeah, so that's how that's going. This is going wonderful. I've got all my 1/4 watt 1% metal films there. I've got all my pots over here, all my 10 turn and a couple 25 turn pots there, all my wire wound cement resistors and a few low induction types there, and then continuing over here. And then I've got some shunt resistors basically at the end of all that, and then some really like super high precision shunts, and some actual shunts. And then the rest of this is where these drawers go. Oh, and I got the other 3 boxes I was talking about, but I'm going to have to buy 1 or 2 more because I did the math on it. With those other 3 boxes, I'll actually be able to put away the entire range that I want to keep of 1% metal film, 2 watt and 1 watt 5% carbon film. But I will be short about 50-60 drawers to do my 170 values of 1/4 watt carbon film. So I'll probably order 2 more of those. So, but yeah, that'll be it. Everything will be finally organized. The only thing I'll have in flat packs will be surface mount. And when I deck this place out with shelving and all that and mount these on the wall, it's going to save me a lot of space. But it's already awesome because it's already saved me not only space, but it's organized. I can just see what I've got, just, you know, yeah, it's wonderful. All right, thanks for watching. If you like my content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.